It's official, Erik Ten Hag signs a new deal at Manchester United. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, it is done, dusted, official and confirmed. Not necessarily the most breaking news story that you'll ever see, but it is still news anyway. The fact that today it has been confirmed that Erik Ten Hag has signed a new deal with Manchester United that will see him stay on past 2025 as the Manchester United manager. We ended the season with a question of would he stay or would he go at Old Trafford, and it turns out that after an FA Cup success at the end of the season, that might have just been enough, that and maybe a very dry managerial market right now, to keep him on at Manchester United beyond his current contract. We're going to be talking about the new contract, about Manchester United and about Erik Ten Hag himself throughout this video. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you, please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it on this particular topic of conversation down below. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting thoughts to say. So please do use and abuse that comment section at your will, people. Would love to hear from you all on this. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United. So, like I say, we knew that this story was going to be breaking. We knew that this story was always going to take place. It's not exactly the most breaking news story, the most exciting or the most ground-shattering news story that you're ever going to find. But we knew this was going to happen. And now I'll always start off every video by saying that I'm not a United fan. I am a Liverpool fan, for those of you who are new. So I'll always try and look at rival videos and things of that nature in a kind of objective and fair and neutral manner. There may be the odd jokey or banterous comment thrown in there, but for the most part it will be trying to be fair and objective about a rival club. Safe to say that when Erik Ten Hag came in, I was a little jealous. I know we had Jurgen Klopp at the time, but I kind of liked Erik Ten Hag, and I kind of was like, maybe he deserves better than Manchester United. But yeah, I mean, 2 trophies in 2 years is still nothing to be sniffed at. But at the same time, I kind of felt the more that he went through his United career, the more that you could see the cracks start showing, and maybe he wasn't quite living up to what was promised of him when he first walked through the door at Old Trafford. You start hearing things that he's saying in interviews and press conferences, combined with obviously the state of decay that Manchester United and Old Trafford especially have been in these past the past decade, and how much it has rotted right to the very core of that football club. And every manager that's touched it has obviously not been able to cure it, not been able to help it in any sort of way. And now it seems that obviously with the new takeover and everything else in between, Erik Ten Hag is set to stay. Erik Ten Hag is set to be the guy that will spearhead a somewhat revolution at Manchester United to try and bring them back to the glory days that was the era of Sir Alex Ferguson and beyond. The new deal is set to take Erik Ten Hag's new contract through till June of 2026. His current contract was set to take him till the end of next season. His new deal is the triggering of an existing option in his contract, an additional 12 months, which is interesting because I reckon it is to obviously trying to change his job role to head coach, which was always going to be the case because of how the new structure at Manchester United is. But it is interesting that they haven't gone the whole hog on this in terms of his new deal. We'll get on to the infrastructure and everything else that's going on at Manchester United in a little bit, but it's interesting that they didn't go the whole hog on this. They didn't try and tie him down to a longer term deal. They trigger his 1-year extension. If it's going to be one of those things that's like, you're not exactly priority right now, we trust you to stay at the club, but you're not exactly the main priority now, so we'll trigger your extension, we'll give you an extra year on your deal, and then we'll come back to it at a later date and we'll try and change it if obviously things do go well. So, interesting that is to be the case as well. Like I say, Erik Ten Hag has enjoyed 2 trophies in 2 seasons at Manchester United, both domestic cups, a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. It's nothing to necessarily be sniffed at. A lot of fans of clubs would love to obviously win those kinds of trophies, and of course with it does say a little bit that he did manage to win those trophies despite the total chaos that Manchester United are in under his management. Not necessarily down to his fault completely, but like I say, it does say a lot that United still managed to win those kinds of trophies, even with the amount of criticism that he and his squad were receiving, the club were receiving, and everything else in between. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting. It was a pretty interesting past couple of years for Erik Ten Hag, to say the least. And then you get the takeover. You get the takeover that has made all the right noises. It's saying all the right things. And of course, they've started to put their words into action. They've started to put the wheels in motion of a complete revamp of how that football club operates. And I mentioned earlier this week when I was talking about the deal to bring Dan Ashworth from Newcastle to Manchester United that this is all positive and very optimistic in terms of what Manchester United fans are currently feeling right now. They feel like they are slowly but surely getting their club back. Now, the proof will obviously be in the pudding of whether this all works out or not, whether they have actually put the right people in the right places, whether they have recruited very well, whether they've done their background checks, their due diligence, and all of that kind of stuff. The proof will be when everything starts to operate completely and they obviously get off the ground running on this. One transfer window is not going to do that. Similarly to it, it's not going to be an overnight success. However, it's still very interesting and I'm sure for United fans very exciting as to the dawning of a new horizon at their once incredibly impeccable club. That was at the top of its game, the peak of its powers, and so on and so forth. The appointments of the likes of Jason Wilcox and Dan Ashworth and Omar Barada, of course, incredible. Incredible for the recruitment of them to show that United still has the pulling power behind the scenes. Many people might not take note of what happens behind the scenes, but the infrastructure of the club is so important. It's why the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, and even Arsenal have been so successful in recent years, and the likes of Manchester United and even Chelsea have fallen off so much over the course of this past decade. But now it seems that everybody's pulling in the same direction. Now it seems that everybody's on the same page. There is a sense of excitement at Manchester United, a sense that obviously they can turn their fortunes around of the past decade. They can start being consistent again. They can start competing at the top tier of club and European football. And they can start winning the major honours again. And that is obviously the end goal of Manchester United, thanks to the takeover of Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, of course. Erik Ten Hag's services, though, was always going to be called into question. And called into question even after winning an FA Cup. A lot of people were turned around by the winning of the FA Cup. I said that at this moment in time it papers over some cracks. If things were to change, maybe you could review that kind of statement. But overall, I didn't necessarily see Erik Ten Hag as being the guy to win them the major honours. And I still don't necessarily. I still don't, even with a changing of the club behind the scenes, I still don't necessarily see him being good enough to win Manchester United Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, the top tier trophies and silverware that obviously United desire the most. Do I think he's good enough to give them top 4? Absolutely. Do I think he's good enough for them to challenge in the domestic cups? Well, evidence proves that, yes, he can do that and obviously has done that. So there is that. But I don't necessarily believe he is the guy to bring them the top tier silverware. And I think a large part of him staying was obviously down to the managerial market being so dry. There not being probably enough managers there that are proven not being enough managers there that are maybe an upgrade on Erik Ten Hag. And I think the club may have chosen a bit more stability than maybe being cast into the unknown. In contrast to someone like Chelsea, of course, who rather than stick with Pochettino, decided to go into the bit of the unknown with Enzo Maresca. So they may have seen that and been like, well, we could totally throw a massive roll of the dice here on someone that is unproven or someone that is young and upcoming. Or we could go with a bit more tried and tested in Erik Ten Hag and then, at least give him another opportunity at a clean slate. And I feel like that's what they're doing here, because the news buzzing around the club is all positive right now. We're very used to seeing a Manchester United operation of, transfer stories aplenty, of every single name you can think of under the sun being linked with Manchester United. Negative stories of deals being turned down and players turning their nose up at it, and money being thrown around that doesn't necessarily need to be thrown around, and players being unhappy and players leaking stuff to the press. There's none of that right now. It's all rather positive and it's all rather optimistic looking. Not what we're used to seeing from the past several years of looking at Manchester United, but at the same time, like I say, for the club, it's all a good thing. And like I say, they seem to be putting all their eggs in this Erik Ten Hag basket of him starting with a clean slate. The FA Cup win seems to have done him some wonders. Seems to have given him a life, if you like, another life to kind of use at that football club. And when I say clean slate and infrastructure, as much as they are probably not all going in on the new deal in terms of making it longer term than what maybe they would have liked, they're giving him the staff that he wants. There is a complete coaching revamp, it seems. Ruud van Nistelrooy, club legend, of course, obviously managed over in the Netherlands, as well as Rene Hack. I want to say that's how I pronounce his name. Again, I'm very sorry. I butcher names plenty. I do apologise. I want to say it's Rene Hake. I do apologise. But they are the next bits of business that Manchester United are looking to bring in as part of Erik Ten Hag's new and improved coaching staff and his coaching reshuffle. So they are clearly going all in on this guy. But I still think that they are cautious about him. I still feel like if they were completely all in, I think they would have given him a new contract. Now, maybe this is on Ten Hag. Maybe Ten Hag didn't want a longer term contract than just an extra year. Maybe he was more than happy for them to trigger the extension in his contract, and then for them to review it at a later date, so to speak. But it is very intriguing that all this is happening. The coaching reshuffle, the stuff going on behind the scenes, the new sporting director, the new technical director, the new I forgot what Omar Barada's job is, or whatever. New medical staff, new whatever. Everything seemingly is brand new at Manchester United, and they're slowly but surely changing things. And the manager, like I say, for as much as I have said constantly throughout the season that I think the manager needs to be improved upon, I can understand why at this moment in time, given the fact that he just won the FA Cup, that they may now not see it as a priority. They may be able to look at it and go, you know what? We can stick with him for at least another year or two. For right now, there's this area, and this area that needs prioritising. We can at least use him for a bit of stability. He may not be the guy. They may agree with me in the fact that he may not be the guy to deliver them the Champions League trophies, the Premier League trophies that they want. But in terms of helping Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe get off the ground, lay the foundations for a brighter future for Manchester United, he can take care of stuff on the pitch as much as they can take care of stuff off the pitch. And if he can just, if they can just go about their business the way they are doing off the pitch, on the pitch wise, they can afford to go a year or two of just setting up everything off the pitch. Ten Hag takes care of things on the pitch, and then they can review it at a later date, like I keep saying. If he's doing well, it's like, great, we'll keep you on. If he's not doing so well, it's, well, we've now done our bit. We just need to now focus on this bit, and this bit is now going to be the priority. If we set up for the future behind the scenes, we can set up for the present and future on the pitch. I'm explaining it in a terrible way, but I hope someone out there does get what I mean on that. But the bottom line here is that Erik Ten Hag has signed a new Manchester United contract. He is set to stay at the club until June of 2026. We shall see how it goes, but like I say, the level of excitement and optimism around Manchester United fans right now is something that we've not seen in a while. The proof will obviously be in the pudding when obviously the season starts, and obviously we see not just an overnight success, because that was never going to be realistic, but maybe like in a season or 2 seasons or maybe even 3 seasons, the change of and progression of Manchester United. I'm sure United fans will be hoping that they see that. Personally, as a rival fan, I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping this all blows up in their faces. But I have to be honest, and I have to say that they're making all the right noises. They're saying all the right things. And again, they are putting the wheels in motion of how to modernise your football club and how to operate your football club in a better way in 2024. But those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag deal? What do you make of Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the way that they've gone about their business so far, and all of that stuff that I talked about in this video? I would love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section there. So please do get involved. Use and abuse that comment section. People would love to know what you thought on this particular topic. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new. Want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.